Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Bill Howe Family of Companies, providing San Diego with plumbing, heating, air, restoration, and flood services for over 45 years. Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE or visit billhowe.com. And by the Conrad Prebys Foundation, Darlene Marcos Shiley, and by the following. And by viewers like you. Thank you.
Police presence is increasing near Sunset Cliffs as they warn the public about a dangerous viral trend. Thanks for joining us. I'm Maya Trabulsi. San Diego police are increasing enforcement at Sunset Cliffs following two significant incidents where cliff jumpers were hurt. KPBS reporter Jacob Ayer says viral social media videos of cliff jumping in the area are fueling an increase of people taking the plunge.
Point Loma's Sunset Cliffs is an iconic San Diego landmark. It's also a well-known cliff jumping spot, an illegal and dangerous tradition that's been going on for decades.
Nothing bad really happens on the small cliff. It's only when people try to do dumb stuff by themselves.
15 and 17-year-old brothers Enzo and Joe Bledsoe drove out from Corona for the second time in the past couple of weeks to cliff jump. The centerpiece of the area is known as the Arch, and recently it's been trending all over the internet, leading to large crowds in the area.
I just started seeing it everywhere on TikTok and everything, so I thought, oh, that looks fun, because I've always been going to the lake and the river and everything, doing cliff jumps out in the water.
On Sunday, July 26th and Tuesday, July 28th, two people jumping and climbing the cliffs were critically injured in the same location.
We have folks from all ages who come out to attempt to jump the cliffs. We do see an increase kind of in the higher tides or later in the day. So they have those patrols, but now with recent activity, we have increased those patrols. We've increased education here in this area.
In a statement Tuesday, the San Diego Police Department said they will be conducting more enforcement in the area to prevent people from jumping and injuring themselves. The department said over the last weekend, officers gave over 300 warnings and issued 18 citations that included misdemeanors and infractions. 85-year-old Al Bruton is a local resident and former lieutenant lifeguard in the city. He jumped in the area between the 1950s and 80s.
But as a kid, we'd come in and we'd jump off of here. It was the locals thing only. The people that would jump knew the water, knew the ocean, knew the currents, and knew how to get out. Because if there's surf, this is an extremely difficult place to get out.
He said big crowds in recent years have created a dangerous situation, but he thinks the citations are an overreaction. Fines start at $100.
People are going to be jumping in there forever. There's no way you're going to be able to stop it. You can post lifeguards there, but that's only a temporary thing.
As for the Bledsoe brothers, they say recent injuries and the risk of citations aren't slowing them down.
Once the cops come, you just make sure to stop jumping.
San Diego Municipal Code prohibits jumping into the Pacific Ocean or Mission Bay from any point that's more than 5 feet above the water. Jacob Ayer, KPBS News.
It's a hot time, no two ways about that. At least we're getting a little relief at night in those inland areas. We'll get down to 77 in Borrego Springs, 68 for a relatively warm night in El Cajon. We'll drop to 70 tonight in San Diego, but we are absolutely still in the throes of a pretty nasty round of heat across the interior. So daytime weather, we're right back up there. These heat alerts for inland portions of San Diego County are in effect until 8 p.m. Saturday. So they're going to take us through the first half of the weekend. We'll take a look at that complete 5-day forecast coming up.
After receiving a huge influx of dogs late last week, the San Diego Humane Society took in another large amount yesterday. Now the organization says there isn't any shelter space left for the area. 9 dogs were taken in by SDHS Humane Law Enforcement at the request of County Sheriff's Office. The dogs belong to a tenant in Linda Vista who had been evicted. 6 of the 9 will be taken to the Humane Society's El Cajon campus. The dogs are now in emergency boarding status pending further investigation. If you're looking to adopt or are a pet owner who needs to reclaim a lost pet, you can find all lost pets listed at sdhumane.org/lost. San Diego police are ramping up enforcement of the city's overnight parking rules. Our media partner KGTV went to check out the parking lot at Ski Beach that just last year was full of RVs, many of which served as homes for unhoused San Diegans. Well, this morning, it was a lot emptier. Since the overnight ordinance began, SDPD issued nearly 7,000 tickets. Officers also made about 800 referrals to safe parking sites. The city says there are at least 100 spaces available right now.
Out of their vehicles, that's just one branch of the homelessness tree that we're trying to trim and get people off the streets. That's the ultimate goal, right? Is to not give out any tickets, have the beaches clean and safe and open for everybody, and get people that are living off the streets.
And it's also important to note that enforcement is only overnight from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. RVs and other large vehicles can park at city lots and streets during the day. For more than a generation, the University of California system has held onto the remains of Native ancestors and sacred belongings of tribes. KPBS reporter Katie Hyson says UC officials are working to return them, but state assembly members and tribal leaders say it's not fast enough.
36 years after the federal law required it, and 1 year after a scathing state audit, tribes are still calling for the return of what was stolen from them. James Ramos is the first California Native American elected to the state legislature.
The human remains are not archaeological or academic trophies. They don't deserve to be held in boxes on shelves. Lack of funding, insufficient staffing, or changes in personnel cannot continue to be an excuse for the state of California and the UC systems.
The audit found at the rate they were going, the UC wouldn't complete the returns until after 2089. Tuesday, the California Assembly held an oversight hearing about it, and UC Vice President Teresa Maldonado acknowledged it's unacceptable.
We stand accountable for the deep and ongoing harm that our arrogance, quite frankly, has caused tribal communities.
Maldonado says they are picking up the pace. As of June, the UC has repatriated more than half of the 17,000 ancestors it held, and more than 300,000 cultural belongings. But some say it's still not fast enough.
You know, it's a shame that we have to continually have these conversations, and it seems like we're just talking to the wall.
Tribal leaders say the process isn't standardized between campuses. The program is understaffed. Positions sit unfilled. Assemblymember Chris Rogers said the universities are spending less than half the funds the legislature allocated for this.
I was thinking about it in context of my kid who was running around on our floor yesterday. He's 2, and some of these timelines that you're talking about, he'll be applying to hopefully go to your institutions by the time you meet that. As a UC alum, that's so embarrassing.
Tribal leaders say they won't keep quiet until their ancestors are home. Katie Hyson, KPBS News.
I'm Amna Nawaz. Tonight on the NewsHour, a progressive challenger wins Michigan's Democratic Senate primary, setting up a closely watched contest in November. It's coming up at 7 after Evening Edition on KPBS.
Iran is pushing back on President Trump's claims that negotiations are underway. President Trump says an agreement on reopening the Strait of Hormuz could come soon, while warning the U.S. will target the country again if not. But a senior Iranian official says while Tehran has received messages from Washington, they have not decided whether to move forward. Maddie Gannon has the details from the White House.
We are certainly hearing positive signs from President Donald Trump when it comes to talks with Iran, even as major questions remain. Trump told reporters Tuesday night that a new agreement over the Strait of Hormuz could come as soon as Wednesday or Thursday. He also referred to discussions as very good in an interview with Fox News that aired Tuesday night, before warning about what would happen if a deal doesn't come together.
If they back out again, they're going to get hit really hard. You know, they know that. They understand that.
Iran has already issued fresh pushback to the comments. Iranian state media cited an unnamed official as saying that any potential agreement between Iran and Oman over the Strait of Hormuz has no connection to the larger reopening of it. We're also hearing Gulf nations weigh in. A senior Gulf official told CNN Wednesday that there's a 50-50 chance that a deal is reached by Friday. On Tuesday, we heard from Qatar, which said currently there are no direct talks between the U.S. and Iran ongoing, but that a draft of a possible agreement was being circulated. And it all comes as we've been reporting on concerns expressed by some in the military community here in the U.S. about the U.S.'s own stockpiles of weapons. The U.S. has seen nearly 80% of interceptors for a key missile defense system depleted amid this war, sources familiar with the matter told CNN. At the White House, I'm Maddie Gannon.
A ballot proposition that would tax billionaires in California is dividing the state Democratic Party. Public Matters reporter Jake Gatta has the details.
The California Democratic Party convened its executive board this past weekend in San Diego. The party's endorsement of Proposition 40, a one-time tax on billionaires, was a split from high-profile Democrats in the state. Governor Gavin Newsom said in June, quote, "The fight belongs at the federal level," declining to support the state tax measure. And Javier Becerra's office directed KPBS to an earlier statement in his campaign for governor that calls Prop 40, quote, "sketchy policy." Both Newsom and Becerra support more taxes on the wealthy in other forms. But San Diego County Democratic Party Chair Will Rodriguez Kennedy said the stakes are simply too high.
Because of the Trump administration's cruel cuts on health care and food assistance, people are literally going to die. They're going to die because hospitals are going to start shutting down. They're going to die because they don't have food assistance that was normally granted, and that now people will literally starve. And so what we're doing is we're asking people who are doing better off than they've ever done before to do a little bit more so that people literally don't die and starve in the streets.
Nationwide, millions of people have lost access to food assistance and dropped Affordable Care Act insurance policies as a result of President Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill Act and changes to subsidies. County Supervisors Monica Montgomery Stepp and Tara Lawson Raymer said hundreds of thousands of county residents could lose access to Medi-Cal as a result of the cuts. San Diego Lincoln Club Business League Chairman Scott Bedingfield said in a statement the proposition, quote, "risks driving investment and jobs elsewhere." If passed, the prop would direct 90% of its revenue to health care and the other 10% to food assistance programs. Jake Gatta, KPBS News.
Public Matters is a partnership with KPBS, iNewsSource, and Voice of San Diego. You can see more of our stories at kpbs.org/publicmatters. Millions of Americans with federal student loans are now being forced to leave the Biden-era saving on a valuable education repayment plan, also known as SAVE. Advocates warn many could see their monthly bills increase by hundreds of dollars a month, while others say they are receiving conflicting information about what they actually owe. Ivan Rodriguez reports.
More than 7.5 million people were enrolled in SAVE, which was the most generous income-driven repayment plan. Now that SAVE is no more, many borrowers are seeing a drastic increase in their monthly payments. For Franco Vitella, the end of the SAVE plan brought 4 different payment amounts in just weeks.
It feels absurd.
Vitella says the federal loan calculator first estimated $50 a month as his new payment. His servicer then sent a $0 bill, followed the next day by approval for a $745 payment. After reapplying, he's now paying $225.
If I revisit the student aid site and recalculate it, it quotes a different payment of $208. So not a huge discrepancy, but it kind of shakes my confidence is, do I have the right payment even?
His confusion comes as about 7.5 million borrowers are being moved out of the SAVE plan. Once borrowers receive a notice from their servicer, they have 90 days to choose another repayment plan option. If not, they'll automatically be placed in a standard repayment plan. These monthly payments can be higher than other plans, but total interest paid is usually lower and length of repayment is shorter, according to studentaid.gov. A recent survey by the Student Debt Crisis Center found the median monthly payment increase for borrowers is $500.
That's more than a car payment for many borrowers. Depending on what state you live in, that could be more than your mortgage.
Abram says borrowers should compare plans at studentaid.gov and contact their servicer.
Do not hide from this. And at the very least, if you can't afford to make the payment, go on a loan forbearance. But the worst thing you could do is just not pay and fall into default.
Servicers are sending out these notices in waves, and that 90-day clock that we talked about begins when each borrower receives their formal notice. For many borrowers like Franco, that increased monthly payment might mean a tighter grocery budget and postponing big purchases like a car or even a home. In Atlanta, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
Home ownership remained out of reach for most San Diego County households during the second quarter of this year. And that is information according to a report released today by the California Association of Realtors. Housing affordability held steady from the previous quarter. Even still, just 17% of households could afford to purchase the county's median-priced single-family home at just over $1 million. Statewide housing affordability fell to 19% in quarter two from a four-year high of 22%. High gas prices have plagued drivers for most of the year, but the pain at the pump isn't enough to convince consumers to switch to an electric model. Jen Sullivan looks at why EV sales are slowed and what automakers are doing to entice buyers.
Electric car sales appear to be in a slump.
There were smoking deals out there. They're not as good as they used to be.
Ivan Drury with Edmund says one reason buyers are turning away is the lack of incentives to buy EVs. Buyers used to get a $7,500 tax credit for buying electric vehicles, but the Trump administration halted those financial incentives last October. Another issue, the cost. The average transaction price for an EV is around $57,000, according to Edmunds. That's about $10,000 more than the rest of the industry. While people are still buying EVs, Drury says they're not for everyone.
There are many people that will still find it very inconvenient.
In the last 5 years, charging infrastructure has boomed in the U.S., but Drury says there are still pockets of the country where more charging stations are needed.
Charging infrastructure gets better, battery technology is getting better, charging technology is better. Like literally every aspect of ownership is getting better.
It's not all bad news when it comes to EVs.
EVs are still some of the best deals, especially when you look at like leasing one of these.
Drury says EVs hold 40 to 50% of their value. And right now, many automakers are motivated to sell.
So many of them are still discounted or sitting on dealers' lots.
Drury says if you are considering switching to an electric car, he recommends leasing it instead of buying so you can see if it fits your lifestyle. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
First responders in Los Angeles County are taking part in a program where they partner up with musicians and songwriters. The goal is to take their stories and turn them into music. Elise Martinez has more.
Inside the historic Larrabee Studios in Toluca Lake, Pasadena City Fire Captain Matthew Caffey listens to a song about his experience battling the Eaton fire.
People don't understand the gravity of what we had to go through, and it's just tough stuff.
Artists taking his story and playing it back for him in a song. Caffey is still weighed down by the memories of the death and destruction in Altadena.
And we tried, and there were some people that we couldn't get to. I think that's part of the song, the lyrics. You'll feel that when you listen to it.
We know that it's the job, and we're never gonna stop trying to get
Retired police officer Mike McGrew co-founded 911 at Ease International, which offers free, trauma-informed counseling for police and firefighters dealing with work-related stress and mental health issues. It's served more than 13,000 first responders nationwide. 911 Project Harmony is a new project within the organization.
I did it all just for you.
It takes a lot of courage to tell your story and to be vulnerable, and that's what they've done.
It's here that first responders tell their stories, then sit in on the writing and producing process with some of the best in the business, and then they watch as their song is recorded.
Front seat staring down Palm Street. I never thought this is where I'd be.
First responders have higher rates of depression and suicide than the general population, and music programs like this are a way to put their pain into words and to help heal some of their scars.
It's a little overwhelming, the recording and working with the artists, and for them to be able to collaborate that and put it into words it's life-changing.
I'll give it all I've got.
It's a hot time. This heat wave continues across the west, and while many areas along the beaches and along the immediate coastline are comfortable, heat alerts continue. Heat advisories for inland portions of San Diego County, extreme heat warnings for the deserts until 8 p.m. Saturday. There will be a hint of monsoon moisture that may produce a stray thunderstorm over the mountains eventually into the weekend. But for now, we are dry. We're at 70 tonight for areas around the metro, and it will be partly cloudy with some marine layer clouds rolling in later on. So here are those heat advisories in orange, Julian, and also areas like Pine Valley. But then from Borrego Springs to the east, you're just locked into the heat. Extreme heat warnings in effect there until 8 p.m. Saturday. And tomorrow we're on the road to 94 in Ramona, 107 in Borrego Springs, 90 in El Cajon, about 80 degrees there, San Diego up to Oceanside. And we're going to be sizzling in the interior. Spotty thunderstorms, scattered storms into the interior southwest, but not here. The heat wave continues through Friday with a strong ridge of high pressure aloft, just holding the heat in place through Friday. Not many changes here with the monsoon moisture bringing more thunderstorms to Arizona and New Mexico into Saturday as well. It's hot out there across the interior. If your toes are in the sand, you're in a better position than the rest of us. A fire risk will continue through the weekend here with moderate fire danger into inland portions of the area. Some of the bigger dangers may actually come from a spotty thunderstorm or two this weekend with an isolated lightning strike in the mountains. Into the coastal forecast, here we are, very warm, 80 plus over the next 5 days. A little more humid as well. You're going to notice a hint of that monsoon moisture, making it feel a little more humid than it would typically be here in Southern California. Inland areas, the temperatures easily round to 90 over the next 5 days for our highs. Mountains, most of the days will be dry, but just keep an eye out around Sunday and Monday. There could be a stray thunderstorm out there with the fringe of the monsoon moisture, mainly over Arizona. It may nudge a little farther west into parts of far Southern California. Deserts, man, it's hot out there. We're going to peak around 110 on Saturday. Still triple-digit heat holding strong here. It is that time of the year, admittedly, through Sunday and Monday. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Jeff Cornish for KPBS News.
For the second time in just 3 years, Tijuana's Little League team will represent Mexico in the Little League World Series. KPBS reporter Gustavo Solis visited the team last week as they prepared for Williamsport.
These parents aren't cheering for just any Little League baseball team. They're cheering for Mexico. For just the third time in history, a Tijuana Little League team is representing Mexico later this month in the Little League World Series. And for 12-year-old Jorge Fonseca, it is a dream come true.
Desde chiquito siempre era mi sueño ir a Williamsport y por fin se cumplió.
Getting here was no easy feat. Tijuana had to win multiple regional tournaments, beating teams from Sinaloa, Sonora, and Mexicali before making it to the national tournament. There, they defeated Matamoros in an 8-2 blowout.
Lo veo listo, lo veo con ganas, lo veo.
Their coach, Francisco Fimbres, says this team is ready. Players train 4 days a week, meet with a sports psychologist, and starting next week, will wake up at 4 a.m. every day.
Todo el mundo me pregunta, oye, pero ¿por qué a las 4 de la mañana?
Coach says that people called him crazy when he suggested the 4 a.m. wake-up calls. But the World Series is in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, which is 3 hours ahead. And the teams will have a 7 a.m. wake-up call, so his players need to get used to those early mornings. They hope the hard work leads to a championship for Mexico, which hasn't won since 1997.
Queremos darle un campeonato a México.
The last time Tijuana made it to Williamsport was 2023. That team made it all the way to the semifinals of the international tournament, beating teams like Japan and Venezuela along the way. The pitching coach, Marcelo Sanmaria, says it's tough to compare the 2023 team to the current group. But he says that while the 2023 team was faster on the bases, this one hits for more power.
Generaciones diferentes con diferentes características, pero los dos muy buenos equipos.
And for some parents, seeing their kids play in the Little League World Series is too much to put into words.
No hay palabras para describir la emoción.
Martín Garcia played Little League in Tijuana. While he never made it to the big tournament as a kid, he's proud to go as a father.
Yo lo veo como padre.
Lo va a vivir diferente.
Vivir a través de mi hijo.
And the league has come a long way since Garcia played on the dirt fields when he was a kid. Now, they practice on a brand new field named after the Padres All-Star who helped pay for it, Fernando Tatis Jr. But some traditions remain, like the post-practice tacos. Today's menu, carne asada and chorizo. The team flies to Williamsport next week, and Mexico's first game will be against Australia on August 20th at 9 a.m. Tijuana time. Gustavo Solis, KPBS News.
So exciting, and we wish them all the luck in the world. And here is a look at what we are working on for tomorrow in the KPBS newsroom. On NPR's Morning Edition, the Senate Finance Committee recently held a hearing on how to prevent deep cuts to Social Security benefits in a few years. The math is simple, but the politics are not. And KPBS is gearing up for the annual San Diego Book Festival this month. On Midday Edition, we are joined with two featured authors who are releasing a special anniversary edition of their book, Under the Perfect Sun. Find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org. Thanks for joining us. I'm Maya Trabulsi. Good night.
Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Bill Howe Family of Companies, providing San Diego with plumbing, heating, air, restoration, and flood services for over 45 years. Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE or visit billhowe.com. And by the Conrad Prebys Foundation, Darlene Marco Shiley, and by the following. And by viewers like you. Thank you.